In one way or another, you've likely experienced some form of meta in video games. Maybe it's Doki Doki Literature Club, where, spoiler alert, seriously, continue watching at your own risk, as this is a story spoiler. The characters blatantly ask as though they know they're in a game, at least when the story progresses a bit. And no, this is more than just the cutesy remember to save your game type of self-awareness we're talking about. Another example is from Undertale, where the game references saving, restarting, and even continuing after a player death. In essence, the game knows it's a game, and it's more than willing to play with your mind a bit. But there's another definition of meta. Metagaming, current strategies and other methods used that somehow transcend the game. Whether meta is used to enhance a horror game, to immerse you in the game experience, or in the form of metagaming, this video will cover it all. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Fireside Chat. After a 2-week hiatus that became a 3-week hiatus and a 4-week hiatus, I'm finally back and really excited to bring you all more content. For all of you who've been watching our streams, they have been super successful. In only 3 live streams, we've increased by about 30 subscribers, leaving us at a solid 80 subs. Thank you to everyone who supported us, whether that's a comment, a like, a sub, or even just sharing us with your friends. We need your support to help us grow our channel. That being said, we will not be having another live stream this week as Cell is out of town. To compensate for our lack of a stream and our ridiculously extended hiatus, there will be another Fireside Chat this Friday. The topic? Creating a character, one that I'm really excited about. Next Monday, you can expect another talk by Tessa as well. Now that we've got our future plans out of the way, on to today's topic, the use of meta in video games. Meta is a term you've probably seen used a lot online, especially in various video game forums. Despite its widespread use and popularity, its true meaning is still very unclear. It begs many questions such as, how should meta be used? Where does it make the most impact? What effect does it have on the player and gameplay itself? What does meta even mean anyway? By the end of this video, these questions and more will be answered. First of all, let's come up with a working definition of meta for the context of this video. The definition itself, like I said, is very unclear, meaning a variety of things from what is accepted in competitive fighting games to a video game being self-aware. The only thing that all of these different descriptions have in common is that all of them involve video game elements outside of the lore or conventions of the game. For instance, when a game references the player, or references saving and loading, or dying and restarting, this is considered the use of meta. On the other hand, metagaming is any strategy, action, or method used in a game which transcends a prescribed rule set, uses external factors to affect the game, or goes beyond the supposed limits or environment set by the game. This means that any strategies or rules that go beyond the limits of the world of the game, the rules of the world's physics, or literally uses outside resources to affect the game, is considered metagaming. First, we're going to focus on the video game self-awareness aspect of the term meta. As I discussed in the intro, there are a few different ways meta can be used in a video game. First of all, it can add tension, or a creepy air to the video game. This can add even further to the tension of a horror game, such as in Doki Doki Literature Club. While this is a great element in horror games, it can be cheesy if used incorrectly, making it an important skill to master. While something along the lines of killer video game doesn't make anyone bat an eye, eerie messages and characters tinkering with the code could generate a decent amount of suspense. Meta can also be used to connect with the player on a deeper level, or to improve the player experience. Whether this is to send a message to the player, teach them a lesson, or reveal a greater meaning to the game, it can be a very successful and artful game element. Video game making is, like painting and singing, an art, and can be given life through the use of meta. An amazing example of this is Undertale, where the game addresses the player through the character, and uses this relationship in many ways. Firstly, it's used as an expert gameplay mechanic. Some characters interact with the battle menu, destroying gameplay options or changing how the game plays. When you restart or die, characters seem to know, and some blatantly call you out. This can really pull the player into the game, since they feel as though the characters are speaking or interacting directly with the individual. The players feel as though they are the protagonist. The other way that Undertale uses meta is to deliver a message to the player. This is where gaming can truly become a medium of art. Through the game's battle system, and especially the game's genocide run, where you must kill all of the monsters in each area, the idea of morals in video games is addressed. When you progress through the genocide run, characters begin to act more aggressively towards you, and some guilt you for your terrible actions. This makes you rethink your decisions thus far, and ultimately question your morals, despite it being just a video game. That is the true beauty of meta. Besides self-awareness meta, there's also metagaming, accepted strategies and other game elements that somehow take place outside of the game, or that deny the lore or other constraints of the universe. This often includes what's trending strategy-wise. This definition begs entirely new questions, and entirely new areas of focus. For instance, how is it decided what is meta and what isn't meta? How does metagaming affect online games like Overwatch and Fortnite? And how does metagaming affect the players? The truth is, the current strategies and characters considered meta is mostly decided by pros. Take Overwatch, for example. Currently, it's not meta to use Torbjorn on attack, because that just isn't how the pros play. If they started suddenly using Torbjorn on attack, he would likely become a part of the meta. This idea is not limited to character selection. In games with abilities, like Overwatch, this can include strategies for how to use different attacks, and different combos for maximum damage. In games with equipment loadouts, the meta could be the perfect combination of weapons and items to increase damage output, defense, or other in-game stats. In all of these cases, the meta is decided by what works. When people find loadouts or combos that provide advantages, that news spreads like wildfire on the internet, especially if the strategies are demonstrated by pro players. But trends aren't the only things that can change the metagame. Updates and rebalances change the effectiveness of strategies, and therefore shuffle the metagame around as well. These things keep them constantly changing, which is why an understanding of them is so crucial to success in online gaming. While metagaming doesn't affect the game itself, it does greatly affect the player, and provides a challenge to those looking to rack up wins in Overwatch. And there you have it. That's the scoop on meta. Regarding video game self-awareness, it can be used as an artful addition to a game, whether it's to connect to the player, communicate a message or lesson, or to add horror or tension to a video game. In regards to metagaming, the rules are set by professionals, but updates to the game shake things up every once in a while. As a whole, it seems there isn't much overlap between the two definitions, aside from them both referencing things outside of the game. It's truly odd that these two very different terms share a name. And with that, remember, we didn't start the fire, we just keep it burning. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed finally seeing another Fireside Chat, consider leaving a like. Comment what your favorite use of meta is, and whether or not you had any idea what meta was when you started watching this video. To be honest, I barely knew what I was talking about before I started my research. You know, all the pros are subscribing on YouTube and turning on notifications, so I guess you could say it's a current meta. Just a thought.